Hey, buddy. Hope y'all doing all right. Sorry. After my first, I guess, only real girlfriend, I guess I should hold up. It didn't go well. Like, I didn't. I ended up getting broken up. I mean, sorry. She ended up breaking up with me. I wanted to stay with her, but she wanted to move on and experience other things and stuff. So yeah, I was devastated for a little bit. It hurt. I was yeah, it hurt, and so it hurt. So yeah, it really did hurt. And so for months I was like just sad, heartbroken, and so I went out looking for some what they call it, rebound. Sometimes some rebound sex is what I was looking for, really. This was right around the time my pill addiction was starting to get more and more intense, and that was part of the problem why we broke up, is because she found out I was doing pills, and she found out in a fucked up way. So it wasn't the main reason, but it was just a part of it. And I even tried to plead with her, like, oh, I'll try to quit the pills and all this type of shit, and nothing worked. She did it in a kind of I mean, she took me out and talked to me, so like we had a face to face. So like, yeah, I respect the way she did it. And we actually ended up still kind of being friends after the breakup. So things stayed pretty cool. But it hurt, yeah. And I I was in a pretty desperate state afterwards for a while, and I looked for other. So yeah, a lot of I was looking for some sex, and just yeah, breakup sex. I was really in the mood for. I was in a little bit. I don't know. I was just in a weird mood. I don't know if I was trying to find a girl to like try to make her want me back by finding somebody better looking than her and have sex with her. If I was just trying to find something for my own desires, maybe a mixture of everything, but I was essentially just on the prowl to find. I was just trying to hook up. I wasn't looking for anything. I still wanted to be with her, like longevity wise. So like, but I did feel like just having just having somebody to be there, because I felt a void. I felt pain. I felt hurt, and I missed having somebody to be there all the time. Who was always there. It's just because we worked at the same job. We were together like every day. So it was a pretty intense relationship as far as like the amount of time we spent together. So, anyways, yeah, when that didn't work out, it was like a big hole, and I stopped. Another thing too is I stopped hanging out with my friends as much. I started focusing on the girlfriend, and then when the girlfriend left, like I'd already fucked things up with my friends, or not like super bad, but I'd pushed some away for sure. So then, like once she left, like my life was just that much more. There just wasn't that much going on. So um, but I still had a small little collection of friends that I kicked it with, and we continued to do things. And I remember I was one day we used to go to a skate park, in the right outside in the outskirts of the city that I lived in called Awatuki, just small. It wasn't an official city, but it was like this area in Phoenix by South Mountain called Awatuki. That was where I grew up. And on the outskirts of Awatuki, there was a skate park, and we used to go to the skate park sometimes in the evening times and skate. And one particular evening after the breakup, I was in a pretty good mood, and I saw this chick outside standing towards the entrance of the fucking skate park, and I was like, "Fuck it, dude! I'm gonna go ahead." I think I was a little high, maybe on some oxys or something, and I was feeling good about myself, and I just went up to her, talked to her, and ended up getting her number. But I couldn't see her very well. I thought she was extremely attractive. I thought she was really good looking and all this and that. But I was feeling good about myself, and I was like, "Fuck it, dude! I'm gonna go and do it." And I went and did it, got the number, all this and that. And I think it was the next day or two, I texted her, and she got back to me, and we went on a date, and it went really well. Um, Except for the fact that unfortunately she wasn't the most attractive. Like she was, I'd probably like a little over 200 pounds, kind of a taller girl and thicker, and she had short hair too, which I really didn't like really short hair. Beautiful personality though. She had a really sweet personality, and I feel bad because I essentially fucking I mean, okay, so anyways, I was disappointed with the way she looked, but you know what? She liked me a lot, and I did like her personality a lot, and she wasn't she was actually good looking. She was just overweight. So I was like, fuck it, I'll go along with it. I'll go along. So we dated for a while, and she hadn't had sex yet. She was a virgin, and I just had, with my last girl. But while being with her, we had sex multiple times, like dozens of times. So I had a good amount. I feel like I wasn't a newbie to sex anymore. I felt relatively, much more experienced than not having any. And it wasn't like I just had one. It was like I'd had consistent sex for a while, so I felt pretty familiar with having sex. But yeah, like I said, so she was still a virgin, and anyways, though, but I still had that. So anyway, going back to the beginning when I talked about how this is, mind you, my mindset is still very much like I'm looking for a rebound chick. I'm in a hole. Like I'm really just trying to find a girl to kind of fill that hole rather than actually like get in a relationship and committed and get to know that other person and build up with that other person. I was more just looking for somebody to help soothe my pain. Which looking back on is not a healthy place to go about doing things, but that's just where I was at. This is me. I think I was maybe in my early 20s at the time. So, but anyway, as things moved on, a couple weeks went by, and then eventually I kept on bringing up, one way or another, the sex thing, which now that I think about it too, like having to speak about it, like it really should be something you organically, I mean, with your body movement, the way y'all's chemistry, it should be pretty clear and evident whether or not, like, that's where the female and you are going to be going, or that's where the female wants to go. But this is before I knew much about that, and I'm still very much unexperienced, but I've learned a few things to know that, like, they'll give you signs, like if, like the way they touch, the way they feel, how open they are, da 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 da, like just read their energy and all these types of things. I wasn't as astute to it as I am now, but so anyways, I would say things, I would talk about it, like, yo, when, do you want to have sex? Do you want to take this farther? Da, 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 da. It was very adamant about even borderline pushy, not like like, oh, I'm getting her to do something she doesn't want to do, but just very much like very kind of demanding, like in what I wanted. I was very kind of very compelled to get some sex. Like I was fucking horny and I was hurting, so it was something I brought up a lot, and I did so with a lot of like emphasis, like it's something I really wanted. And I think she eventually, yeah, we eventually did have sex, but she was, it didn't go well. Like it just didn't go well. Even in the moment too, I felt bad. I was like, because I felt like I kind of did manipulate her into having sex with me before she really wanted to. I'll be honest with you guys. Like it was totally consensual and all this and that, but I do feel like I used my powers of influence to get her to do something that, like, she wasn't really wanting to do it. She just did it to make me happy. Even though after we did it, she wanted to continue to do it. And well, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So anyway, we ended up having that, but I didn't enjoy the experience like really at all. Um, and so after that experience, it left a mark on me, and I was like, whoa, I looked at everything I was doing with this girl from a different standpoint, because after that she like I said, she wanted more. She wanted to continue to have sex, and definitely wanted to stay with me. And she was like she was growing more and more and more like into me, and I was like losing interest in her. And so eventually, like this is when I was working at Papa John's at the time, and so I was delivering pizzas. And what I eventually did is I pretty much just kind of like stopped talking to her rather quickly, which was really stupid too. Like I didn't even give her. I think I broke it off with a simple like just quick little text message. And we'd been spending like every day, like we've been spending a lot of time together, and then we had it like climaxed into the sex. And then after the sex, and then like she sent me a few texts, and I kind of didn't get back to her, and I could tell she felt like things were weird. Then eventually, I just sent her the text saying like, "Hey, I don't think it's working out for me. Like, I don't want to go any further with the relationship." And da 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 da. And she was angry, and I think she kept on trying to call me or something, and I must have kept on ignoring it, or somehow I forget it. My memory's a little hazy, but because I was delivering pizzas, and she knew I was delivering pizzas, and she knew where I was delivering pizzas, and she knew I happened to be working that particular night. She ordered a pizza and requested that I deliver the pizza to her. So I ended up doing it, and I remember going on the delivery, like knowing it was her address and having to do it. And I don't know if I didn't realize it was her address until after I was already driving en route, or if I knew it before, but however it happened, I ended up delivering her pizza while and she ordered the pizza because she wanted me to deliver it, because she wanted to talk to me. and she fucking wouldn't pay for the pizza for like 30 minutes. I don't know if it's 30 minutes. It was a while. I remember trying to ask her to pay for the pizza for a while because she was fucking using me delivering the pizzas in this time that we had in that exchange to try to talk to me because she was pissed because I was trying to break up with her. And I didn't want to tell her the main reason was because I just really wasn't that attracted to her, you know. And she also had this friend who was extremely good looking. And like I went over to her house a few days ago before we had sex and before I decided to break up with her. And she had her friend there. And like I just remember being there and being with her and then having her friend there who was super attractive. And I just kept on I was attracted to her friend. I was like, fuck, dude, I'm more attracted to her friend than her. And so it's like I had to be real with myself. And and her friend was there too at that night, with the pizza, and she was there supporting her friend and asking me why I fucking was breaking up with her. And I'm sure she knew that I just slept with her, so they were both fucking with their arms crossed talking to me and all pissed off at me and shit. And I felt horrible, I felt bad, but I also was like, I didn't want to just tell him like, hey, I just straight up lost interest, I'm sorry, I should have just told him that. I was like, hey man, I just had my heart broken, and like this girl, I was really just looking for some rebound sex, to be honest with you, and like somebody to spend time with and kind of like rejuvenate my spirits and da 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 da. But I was young and just not that equipped with being straightforward in that type of a manner. So I didn't say enough, and and then what I did say a lot, it wasn't very explanative, and just I didn't handle it well at all. I feel pretty bad about that situation, especially. I hope she's doing all right. She was a sweet girl. She was a great girl, and she had a brother, an older brother who was tall, kind of like me, who also happened to be an OxyContin. Like he was also hooked on OxyContin at the exact same time. So I was like, oh, this is fucking weird. I'm sitting here just now getting into pills, and like she's also got an older brother who is, I think had just gotten off of oxys or something like that, but it was a big deal. Like it was something they all knew about, and they were really worried about him, and da da da. And I was like, wow, this is. And she didn't know I wasn't forthcoming with my pill addiction either, so she had no idea that I was, using pills too at the time, which probably would have been a weird fucking piece of information for her to know since she had a brother who was dealing with the same type of shit. But then again, she might have been somebody who would have been good for me because she was very, like, I could tell she cared a lot, like with her brother. Like she was definitely like a family member that really, I felt like, gave it, really cared a lot about her family members. So she probably would have helped get me straight if I were to have want that, but I didn't even want that either. So but anyways, that's how my second real, I mean, I guess it was kind of for like maybe a week or so we were girlfriend and boyfriend, but that's how that went. And that was also my second time having sex. So